She said, "I just asked him to put sunscreen on my back. If you're jealous, go home." Then she laughed and joked with him in front of everyone, like I wasn't even there. I stayed quiet, booked a flight home that night and left without a word. The next morning, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. "I just asked him to put sunscreen on my back. If you're jealous, go home," that's what she said, loud enough for half the beach to hear. Everyone laughed awkwardly. She was smiling at the tour guide, flipping her hair, acting like I wasn't even standing there. I didn't argue, didn't roll my eyes, didn't ask for an explanation. I just said, "All right," and walked away. No scene. No yelling. No begging her to respect me. I went back to our hotel room, packed my bag, booked the first flight out, and left. She thought I was bluffing, she always did, but this time I was done. I didn't text her, didn't leave a note. I just left. The next morning, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Calls, texts, notifications. Her name's Mira. We'd been dating for almost 2 years. She was the kind of person who never walked into a room quietly. She made sure everyone noticed. Confident, charming, always laughing a little too loud, touching people when she talked. The kind of woman who made heads turn, and she loved that attention. When we first met, that energy pulled me in. I liked that she wasn't shy or dull. But over time, I started to notice something else. She didn't just enjoy attention, she needed it. And whenever I mentioned feeling uncomfortable, she'd laugh and say, "You're overthinking again." "I'm just friendly." That was Mira's favorite phrase. Just friendly. Whether she was sitting too close to some guy at a bar or texting her old friends late at night, it was always just friendly. I used to let it slide. Not because I didn't see it, but because I didn't care to play babysitter in my own relationship. If someone wants to cross a line, they will. You don't stop them by standing in front of it. So I watched, I listened, and I learned. Mira liked men noticing her more than she liked having a man who respected her. That was fine, until she started doing it in front of my face. When she invited me on that beach trip with her friends, I said yes. Part of me wanted a break from work. Part of me wanted to see if she acted the same way around people who actually knew me. I wasn't planning a fight. So I just wanted clarity. Her friend group was exactly what I expected. Loud, funny, selfie addicts. The kind of people who film everything for Instagram stories. Mira fit right in, soaking up every bit of attention like it was oxygen. I didn't say much. I'm not the type to compete for volume in a crowd. The first day was fine. We swam, ate seafood, drank by the pool. She kept things light, only teasing me a few times in that playful way that sits right on the edge of disrespect. I stayed calm. There's no point arguing over tone when the intent is obvious. But on the second day, things changed. She was in her element. New bikini, sunglasses, music blasting. I saw it in her posture. She wasn't just enjoying the beach. She was performing. Every glance from a stranger was a hit of validation. And then came him, the tour guide, some fit local guy named Leo. Polite, helpful, doing his job. But Mira made sure it turned into a show, touching his arm when she laughed, complimenting his tattoos, asking him to help with sunscreen. I was sitting right there, towel in hand. She didn't ask me. She didn't even look at me. Just turned her back and called for him like I wasn't part of the equation. That's who Mira was. Someone who wanted a reaction, not a partner. The kind who throws a spark just to see if you'll burn for her. I'd burned enough. When she turned around, saw me watching, she smirked. "What? Don't tell me you're jealous again." Then louder, so her friends could hear. "I just asked him to put sunscreen on my back. If you're jealous, go home." That line wasn't about sunscreen. It was about power. About showing everyone she could humiliate me and still expect me to stay. And that's when I knew. She didn't respect me. She just wanted to see if I respected myself. For a second, everything froze. The music, the laughter, even the sound of the waves seemed to pause after those words left her mouth. "If you're jealous, go home." Half the group stared at me. Half stared at her, waiting for something, and a fight, an apology, maybe a joke to smooth it over. But I didn't give them any of that. Mira was still smirking, her sunglasses low on her nose, watching me like I was supposed to perform, supposed to play the part of the insecure boyfriend so she could feel superior. She wanted a scene. Instead, I gave her silence. I didn't look angry. I didn't flinch. I just said quietly, "Okay." And that single word must have hit her harder than yelling ever could. because her smile faltered for half a second, then came right back. "Fake and too bright. Oh, come on, don't be dramatic," she called out, loud enough for everyone to hear. "He's so sensitive, right?" Her friends laughed awkwardly. The kind of laugh that doesn't sound like fun, more like fear of tension. Nobody actually found it funny. I didn't respond. I just picked up my towel, shook off the sand, and started walking. She kept talking behind me, her voice chasing me up the shore. "Are you seriously leaving?" "Adam, come on, don't ruin the mood. You can sulk later, we're having fun." I didn't turn around, because when someone publicly disrespects you, looking back is just volunteering for more. Back at the hotel, I could still feel the sun burning on my shoulders, but inside, I was calm. Too calm. That's when I knew it was over. Real endings don't come with yelling or tears. They come with quiet certainty. I took a shower, packed slowly, methodically. Folded shirts, unplugged chargers. Every movement felt like reclaiming a little piece of myself I'd given away over time. By the time I zipped my suitcase, the noise of the beach felt miles away. She texted once. "Seriously? You're going to act like a child because I made a joke?" I didn't answer. Then came another. "If you walk out over this, don't bother coming back." I smiled. Not out of spite, but because it made my choice easier. I'd already walked out. Downstairs, I stopped by the front desk. The clerk recognized me from check-in and smiled. I smiled back, handed over the room key, and paid for my share. He asked if the other guest, Amira, thought would be checking out too. "Not yet," I said. "She's staying a little longer." He nodded. Outside, the air smelled like salt and sunblock. I shuttled to the airport, was idling by the curb. I climbed in, set my suitcase down, and watched the resort fade behind me through the window. No guilt. No second thoughts, no music. Just peace. On the ride, I scrolled through my gallery. Photos of us smiling, laughing, looking happy. They all looked fake now. Not because she was pretending, but because I had been pretending everything was fine. She didn't want a partner. She wanted an audience, and I was done playing her mirror. At the airport, I bought a coffee, checked the next available flight home, and booked it. The attendant asked if I wanted insurance for cancellations. "No need," I said. "I'm not changing my mind." I boarded without hesitation. No long goodbye, no movie scene reflection out the window. Just a man leaving something he should have left long ago. When we landed early the next morning, I turned my phone back on. Within seconds, it started buzzing, messages pouring in one after another. The screen filled with her name. At first, I ignored it. Then curiosity won for a moment, and I opened the preview of one message. "Are you really doing this? You just left? Everyone's asking where you went. This is humiliating." Another one came right after. "You're overreacting. It was a joke. Don't make this bigger than it is." Then, "They're making me pay for your part of the room. My card isn't going through. Can you just transfer it so I can check out?" I stared at that last one for a few seconds, then locked the phone. Sometimes silence is the most expensive answer you can give someone. By noon, my phone was still lighting up like a Christmas tree. Calls, messages, missed voice notes. I put it face down on the table and kept working. Silence was louder than anything I could have said. Then a text came through from an unknown number, one of Mira's friends. I opened it because curiosity, not emotion. "Hey man, this is Daniel. You don't know me well, but just FYI, she's freaking out. The hotel's asking her to pay your part since it's one booking. Her card keeps getting declined. She's crying at the front desk. Thought you should know." I stared at the message for a few seconds, then typed back 2 words. "She'll manage," and that was that. I muted the chat. Half an hour later, another ping. Screenshot from someone in their group chat. Mira arguing with the manager, voice raised, still trying to act like she was in control. Then another message from a girl named Qley, one of the quieter friends. "You told him to go home if he's jealous." "Guess he just did." No one replied after that. By evening, she must have realized no one was coming to save her. The tone of her messages shifted from angry to panicked to sweet. "Please, I'm sorry. Can we just talk? You embarrassed me by leaving like that. They're making me look stupid. And then finally, the hotel won't let me check out. Just transfer the money, please." I didn't answer. I just scrolled through them slowly, watching her words twist from arrogance to desperation. It wasn't about the money. It was about control. She'd lost it and she couldn't stand that. That night, Daniel texted again. She's asking everyone for cash. No one's lending. I think she thought you'd pay online or something. She's losing it, man. She said you left her stranded. I sent a final reply. She told me to go home. He didn't text again. A few hours later, she posted a story. A photo of the beach at sunset captioned, "When you love someone insecure, they'll always find a reason to run." The comments were brutal. Her own friends called her out. Strong women don't humiliate their boyfriends in public. He didn't run, you pushed him. She deleted it within 10 minutes. But by then, screenshots were everywhere. For the first time in a long while, I didn't feel like I needed to defend myself. People had seen what they needed to see. You can fake affection, but you can't fake respect. By the second night, her tone changed again. Softer, slower. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I was just joking, okay? Can we fix this?" Then another minutes later. "I hate that you can just leave and not care." She was wrong about that part. It wasn't that I didn't care. I just stopped trying to care for someone who never cared back. Daniel sent one last text the next morning. Hotel finally got paid. She had to call her mom to wire money. Whole thing was awkward. Then a laughing emoji. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. I turned off notifications and went for a walk. The air felt cleaner somehow. Maybe it was just the absence of noise. Sometimes you don't need to destroy someone's ego. Just stop feeding it. Reality takes care of the rest. A week went by before she called again. Different number this time. I almost admired the persistence. I let it ring twice, then answered. The first few seconds were just silence. Then a shaky voice. "You really left me there, Adam. I had to call my mom for money. Do you know how humiliating that was?" Her tone wasn't angry anymore. It was small, scared. I didn't say anything. "Just let her talk. You didn't even check if I was okay. After everything we've been through, that's how you treat me." Over one stupid comment? I finally spoke, calm and even. "No, Mira, not over one comment. Over every moment you thought disrespect was cute. Every time you made me feel invisible." That sentence on the beach was just the last one. She tried to cut in. "I was joking." "You weren't," I said. "And even if you were, it still told me everything I needed to know." For a few seconds, all I heard was her breathing. Then she said softly, "You didn't even fight for me." I almost laughed, not cruelly, just at the irony. "You told me to go home, Mira. I just listened." Silence again. Then she whispered, almost resentful, "You've changed." "No," I said. "I just stopped mistaking your chaos for passion." She hung up after that. No yelling, no crying, just a deadline. It felt like the quiet after a storm that had lasted too long. That was the last time we spoke. I didn't block her. I didn't have to. She stopped trying. And honestly, that silence felt better than closure ever could. A few weeks later, I started talking to someone new. Her name's Claire. Works in marketing, calm voice, kind eyes, zero drama. We met at a client dinner. We talked about books, travel, and how peaceful it feels when people communicate like adults. She didn't flirt for attention. She listened, laughed at the right moments, and didn't make everything about her. It felt easy, refreshing even. I didn't rush it, didn't compare, didn't tell her about Mira. She didn't need to know. What mattered was that when she spoke, I didn't feel like I had to defend myself just to be heard. Sometimes peace feels so unfamiliar that you mistake it for boredom. But after Mira, I knew better. Peace isn't boring as it's healing. A few days ago, Daniel texted again, one last time. "Hey man, just FYI, Mira's back home. Heard she's been telling people she learned her lesson." "Not that it matters," I replied with a simple "wish her well," then muted the thread. I didn't hate her. I didn't forgive her either. I just stopped caring. Some people don't learn from losing you. They only learn when the bill arrives, and literally and metaphorically. I don't hate her. I don't wish her pain. But I'm glad I left when I did, before I forgot what peace felt like. Now every morning feels quieter, not empty, just peaceful. So yeah, maybe I did go home. But for the first time in years, it actually feels like home. If you were in my place, what would you have done? Would you have stayed and argued, or walked away like I did? Thanks for listening. Seriously. Sometimes the hardest stories to tell are the quiet ones, where you don't scream, don't fight, you just leave.